Sarah Gudger, interviewed in Asheville, North Carolina, interviewed by Margie Jones, age when interviewed 121. I was born about 2 miles from Old Fort on the old Morgantown Road. I sure has had a hard life, just work and work and work. I never known nothing but work. My boss, he was old man Andy Hiphill. He had a large plantation in the valley, plenty of everything, all kind of stock, hogs, cows, mules, and horses. When Marsh Andy died, I got live with his son, William Hemphill. I never forgot when Marsh Andy died. He was a good old man, and the missus, she was good too. She used to read the Bible to us children before she passed away. My pappy, he lived with Joe Gudger. He old and feeble. Our members, he depend on my pappy to see after everything for him. He always trusts my pappy. One morning, he followed pappy to the field. Pappy, he stopped his work, and old Marsh Joe, he said, "Well, smart pappy?" He named Smart Eyes, tired, worried, and troubled. All these years I worked for my children. They never do the right thing. They worries me. Smart, I tell you, Smart Eyes, a good mind to put myself away. I's a good mind to drown myself right here. I terrible worried, Smart. Pappy, he take hold of old Marsh Joe and lead him to the house. Now Marsh Joe, I wouldn't talk such talk if and I's you. You been good to you. Family, just you content yourself and rest. But a few days after that, old Marsh Joe was found hanging in the barn by the bridle. Old Marsh had put himself away. I never knowed what it was to rest. I just worked all the time, from morning till late at night. I had to do everything there was to do on the outside. Work in the field, chop wood, hoe corn, till something. I feels like my back surely break. I done everything except split the rails. You know these split rails back in them days? Well, I never did split no rails. Old Marsh stopped us good if we did anything he didn't like. Sometimes he get his daughter up and then we dancing look around at him, else he tie your hands afore your body and whip you, just like you a mule. Lordy, I's took 1,000 lashes in my day. Sometimes my poor old body be sore for a week. Old boss, he send us niggers out in any kind of weather, rain or snow. It never mattered. We had to go to the mountains, cut wood and drag it down to the house. Many the time we come in with our clothes stuck to our poor old cold bodies, but want no use to try to get them dry. If the old boss or the old missus see us, they yell, "Get on out of here, you black thing, and get you work out of the way." And we know to get else, we get the lash. They didn't care how old or how young you were. You never too big to get the lash. The rich white folks never did no work. They had darkies to do it for them. In the summer, we had to work outdoors. In the winter, in the house. I had to card and spin till 10 o'clock. Never get much rest. Had to get up at 4 the next morning and start again. Didn't get much to eat. neither. Just a little cornbread and lasses. Lordy, you can't know what a time I had, all cold and hungry. I ain't telling no lies. It the gospel truth. It sure is. I remember well how I used to lie awake till all the folks was sleeping, then crept out of the door and walked barefooted in the snow about 2 miles to my old auntie's house. I knowed when I get there, she fix hot corn pone with a slice of meat and some milk for me to eat. Auntie was good to us darkies. I never slept on a bedstead till after freedom. Just an old pile of rags in the corner, hardly enough to keep us from freezing. Law, nobody knows how mean darkies was treated. Why, they was better to the animals than to us. My first old Marsh was a good old man, but the last one, he was rapid. He sure was rapid. Weren't none of these slaves often our plantation ever sold, but the ones on the other plantation of Marsh Williams were. Oh, that was a terrible time. All these slaves be in the field plowing, hoeing, and singing in the boiling sun. Old Marsh, he come through the fields with a man called the speculator. They walked around just looking. All the darkies know what this mean. They didn't dare look up, just work right on. Then the speculator, he see who he want. He talked to old Marsh, then they slaps the handcuffs on him and take him away to the cotton country. Oh, them was awful times. When the speculator was ready to go with the slaves, if there was anyone who didn't want to go, he thrashed him, then tie him behind the wagon and make them run till they fall on the ground. Then he thrash them till they say they go without no trouble. Sometimes some of them run away and come back to the plantation. Then it was harder on them than before. When the darkies went to dinner, they old nigger's mammy, she asked where am such and such. None of them others want to tell her, but when she see them look down to the ground, she just say, the speculator. Then the tears roll down her cheeks, 'cause maybe it her son or husband, and she knows she never see him again. Maybe they leaves babies to home, maybe just pappy and mammy. Oh my lordy, my old boss was mean, but he never sent us to the cotton country. There was very few schools back in that day and time, very few. We darkies didn't dare look at no book, not even to pick it up. Old Mrs., that is, my first old Mrs., she was a good old woman. She read to the niggers and to the white childrens. She come from across the water. She weren't like the smart white folks living here now. When she come over here, she's brung darky boy with her. He was her personal servant. Course, they got different names for them now, but in that day, they calls them Guinea niggers. She was a good old woman, not like her other white folks. Niggers like old Missy. When the darkies get sick, they were put in a little old house close to the big house, and one of the other darkies waited on them. There were very few doctors then, only 3 in the whole section. When they wanted medicine, they went to the woods and gathered horsehound, slippery elm for polytices, and all kinds of bark for teas. All these herbs bring you round. I remembers when old Mammy died, she lived on Reams Creek with other hemp hills. She sick long time. One day white man came to us to see me. Hey, say, Sarah, did you know your mammy was dead? No, I would say, but I wants to see my mother afore they puts her away. I went to the house and say to old miss, my mother, she died today. I wants to see my mother afore they puts her away. But she look at me mean and say, get on out of here and get back to your work afore I wallop you. Good. So I went back to my work with the tears streaming down my face, just a wringing my hands. I wanted to see my mammy. So about 2 weeks later, old Mrs., she get terrible sick. She just linger alone for a long time, but she never gets up no more. Worked long afore they put her away too, just like my mammy. I remembers the time when my mammy was alive. I was a small child afore they took her to Reams Creek. All the children was playing in the yard one night, just a running and playing like children's will. All of a sudden, Mammy come to the door, all excited. Come in here this minute, she say. Just look up at what is a happening. And bless you, life. These stars were falling just like rain. Mammy was terrible scared, but we children wasn't afraid, no. We weren't afraid. But Mammy, she say every time a star fall, somebody gonna die. Look like a lot of folks gonna die from the looks of these stars. Everything was just as bright as day. You could have picked a pin up. You know, these stars don't shine as bright as they did back then. Worked long before they took my mammy away and I was left alone. On the plantation was an old woman what the boss bought from a drover up in Virginia. The boss had bought her from one of the speculators. She laughed and tell us, some of these days y'all going to be free, just like the white folks. But we all laugh at her. No, we just slaves. We always have to work and never be free. Then when freedom come, she say, I told y'all, now you got no learning. You got nothing. Got no home. What you going to do? Didn't I tell you? I was getting along smartly in years when the war come. I remember just like yesterday, just before the war, Marsh Williams was talking to his brother. I was standing off a piece. Marsh brother, he say, Williams, how old Aunt Sarah now? Marsh Williams look at me and he say, she's getting nigh on near 50. That was just a little while before the war. That was awful time. Us darkies didn't know what it was all about. Only one of the boys from the plantation go. He, Alexander, he about 25 then. Many the time we get word the Yankees coming. We take our food and stock and hide it till we sure they gone. We weren't bothered much. One day, I never forget, we look out and see soldiers marching. Looked like the whole valley full of them. I thought, poor helpless critters just going away to get killed. The drums were beating and the fifes a playing. They were the Foot Company. Oh glory, it was a sight. Sometime they come home on furloughs. Sometime they get killed before they gets through. Alexander, he come home a few times. And for freedom, when the war was over, Marsh Williams, he say, did y'all all know y'all all's free? You free now. I chuckle, remembering what the old women tell us about freedom and no learning. Lots of old men want me to go to foreign land, but I tell them I'll go live with my pappy. Long after he lived, I stayed with the white folks about 12 months. Then I stayed with my pappy long as he lived.